Hello, friends, and welcome back to English Daily Lessons. I'm Charlie. If you clicked this video to discover your real English level, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, or C2, you're exactly in the right place. Today, you won't need a teacher, a classroom, or even a written test. All you need is your ears, your focus, and a few minutes to listen. In this lesson, I'll read 6 short stories, one for each English level. When one story feels easy and the next one starts to feel a little difficult, you'll know exactly where your level is. This method is simple, natural, and extremely accurate. We'll start at A1 beginner and slowly move up to C2 expert. Listen carefully, relax, and enjoy the journey. Let's begin. At A1 level, English is simple and clear. Sentences are short, vocabulary is basic, and ideas are familiar. If you can understand this story easily, you're at least A1. A1 story: Maya's Simple Day. My name is Maya. I am 24 years old. I live with my mother and my younger brother. We have a small gray cat. His name is Coco. I love my cat very much. We live in a small apartment. It has 2 bedrooms, a living room, and a kitchen. Our home is quiet and clean. There is a small market near our building. Every morning, I wake up at 6:30. I get up, wash my face, and make breakfast. I usually eat bread and eggs, and I drink tea. After breakfast, I brush my teeth and get ready for work. I work in a flower shop. The shop is close to my home, so I walk there. It takes only 8 minutes. In the shop, I sell flowers, water the plants, and help customers. My boss is friendly, and my coworker is helpful. My job is simple, but I enjoy it. At 1 o'clock, I eat lunch. Sometimes I eat noodles. Sometimes I eat a salad. I usually drink juice or tea. I finish work at 4:30. After work, I go home. I feel a little tired but also happy. I cook dinner for my family. We sit together, talk, and laugh. After dinner, I wash the dishes. In the evening, I watch a short TV show or listen to music. Sometimes I read a small book. At 9:30, I go to bed. Coco sleeps next to me. Before sleeping, I think about my day. My life is simple, but I feel thankful every day. If this story felt easy for you, congratulations! You are at least A1 beginner. You can understand short, clear sentences, simple vocabulary, everyday routines, common activities. Now let's see if you can understand the next level. At A2 level, English becomes longer and more connected. Sentences join together and ideas flow more smoothly. You will hear more about routines, plans, and simple descriptions. If you understand the next story without difficulty, you are A2 or higher. In the next part, we'll continue with the A2 story, rewritten with new characters and details, and begin climbing through the higher English levels. If this lesson is helping you, make sure to like the video and subscribe to English Daily Lessons so you never miss a new episode. At A2 level, English becomes a little richer. Sentences connect more smoothly, and descriptions feel more complete. You'll hear about routines, plans, and daily life with a bit more detail. If you understand this story with much effort, you are A2 level or higher. A2 Story: Jonas's Everyday Life. My name is Jonas, and I live in a small apartment close to the city center. It's not a big place, but it's comfortable and perfect for one person. My apartment has a small kitchen, a bedroom, and a bright living room. From my living room window, I can see a quiet street, a bakery, and a few tall trees. Every morning, I hear birds singing outside, which helps me wake up gently. I work in a travel agency not far from my home. I usually walk to work because it only takes about 12 minutes. But if it's raining or too hot, I take the bus. I start work at 9 a.m. and finish at 5:30. My job includes answering phone calls, sending emails, and helping customers plan their trips. I enjoy talking to people about different countries and hotels. My colleagues are friendly, and we often laugh during the day. At lunchtime, I usually go to a cafe with two coworkers. We sit near the window and talk about our families, weekend plans, or interesting customers we met. One of my coworkers always tells funny stories, so our lunch breaks are never boring. After work, I don't go home immediately. I usually stop by the gym for about an hour. I listen to music on my headphones while I exercise. It helps me relax and clear my mind after a busy day. Around 7:30, I walk back home. The first thing I do is take a shower and change into comfortable clothes. Then I cook something simple: pasta, rice, or a quick stir-fry. Sometimes I eat while watching my favorite TV show. On weekends, my routine is very different. I meet my friends in the city center. We get coffee, walk around, and sometimes watch a movie. If the weather is nice, we sit in the park for a long time and talk about life, music, and travel. If you understood the A2 story easily, you can connect sentences, you can understand daily routines, you can follow simple descriptions. You are at least an A2 English user. Great job! Now get ready for B1, where the stories become more detailed and the ideas become deeper. B1 level means you can follow longer stories, understand the message, and keep up with more detail. If you follow the next story comfortably, your English is at least B1. B1 Story: Oliver's Work and Dreams. My name is Oliver, and I work as an electronics technician. I repair phones, fix laptops, and help people when their devices stop working. I've been doing this job for almost 5 years, and I still enjoy it. I like my work because every problem is different. Sometimes I fix a simple battery issue, and sometimes I spend hours finding a tiny problem inside a circuit board. It's a mix of logic, patience, and creativity. When I finally solve a difficult problem, it feels like solving a puzzle. I start work at 8 every morning. The first thing I do when I arrive is make a cup of strong coffee. Then I check the list of repairs waiting for me. Some jobs take a few minutes, while others can take most of the day. My coworkers are helpful and supportive. When one of us faces a complicated repair, we work together to find a solution. Teamwork is a big part of our shop. I've learned many things just by watching how others solve problems differently. After work, I almost never go home right away. I like to reset my mind by spending 20 to 30 minutes at the park near my workplace. Sometimes I listen to music, sometimes I just walk slowly and enjoy the quiet moment after a busy day. When I get home, I cook dinner, usually something quick. Then I watch a documentary or a short film online. I enjoy learning new things, especially about technology and science. In the evenings, I study online. I'm taking a course about modern computer systems because my dream is to open my own repair shop one day. It's a lot of work, but I believe it's worth it. I want to be independent and build something that is truly mine. On weekends, I like to relax. Sometimes I meet friends. Sometimes I go hiking in the mountains nearby. Being in nature helps me think clearly and gives me new energy. I know I still have a long way to go before opening my own business, but I'm not worried. Every skill I learn and every experience I gain brings me one step closer. If you understood this story clearly and smoothly, you can follow longer texts. You can understand descriptions and opinions. You can follow ideas that connect over time. You are B1 or higher. For a long time, I believed leadership meant giving answers and making decisions. But experience has taught me something else entirely. Good leadership is less about speaking and more about listening. When someone on the team feels stressed, I try to understand what they're going through rather than push them harder. Most problems don't come from lack of skill, but from lack of clarity or poor communication. Trust is another important part of leadership. When your team trusts you, they will speak honestly. They will admit mistakes, share concerns, and give feedback. But trust takes time. You can't force it. You build it slowly, through consistency, fairness, and respect. Of course, things don't always go smoothly. Deadlines shift, clients change their minds, or unexpected technical issues appear. When that happens, I try to stay grounded. If I panic, the team will panic too. One project I'll never forget happened 3 years ago. We were preparing to launch a new platform. Everything was ready, or so we thought. 2 days before the launch, the system crashed completely during testing. Everyone stayed late trying to identify the issue. People were tired and losing patience. Instead of forcing everyone to continue, I told the team to take a break. We ordered dinner, went outside, and talked about unrelated things for half an hour. When we returned, one developer suddenly realized where the problem was. Within 15 minutes, the system was fixed. That experience taught me something important. Sometimes stepping back is the fastest way forward. I've also learned that leadership is not about control. It's about connection. The more you listen, the better your team performs. The more you trust them, the more they trust themselves. After long days filled with meetings, screens, and endless decisions, I like quiet moments. Cooking helps me relax. Chopping vegetables, mixing flavors, waiting for something to simmer. It slows my mind. It reminds me that not everything needs to move fast to be meaningful. Books also help me grow. I read biographies and psychology books because they teach me about human behavior and emotions, things no project management guide can fully explain. If there's one thing my career has taught me, it's this. Success is not just about completing projects. It's about becoming a better version of yourself while doing them. If this story felt natural and understandable to you, congratulations. Your English is at least C1. Next, we will move to the final level, C2 Expert. The language becomes poetic, abstract, reflective, and emotionally layered. After that, we'll end with your English level summary and final message. At C2 level, English becomes subtle, poetic, thoughtful, and emotionally layered. Ideas flow like natural speech, and the meaning often lies between the lines. If you can follow this story easily, your English is near native. C2 story, Leora's reflections on life, time, and choice. My name is Leora, and after many years of moving, searching, and running, I've learned that the hardest part of life isn't choosing a path, it's understanding what each path quietly takes from you and what it quietly gives you. When we're young, choices feel loud, bright, and full of promise. We imagine that every decision leads somewhere better, a better job, a better city, a better version of ourselves. So we move, we change, we rush. Not always because we want something new, but because standing still feels uncomfortable. For years, I believed movement was progress. I switched careers, traveled to different countries, changed apartments, changed circles of friends, all while telling myself I was growing. But deep down, I wasn't searching for a destination. I was running from silence. Silence is strange. It sounds empty, but it reveals everything. The truth inside you, the fears you haven't named, the dreams you abandoned quietly because someone once told you they were too big or too unrealistic. It took me years to realize that silence isn't the enemy. It's a teacher. These days, my life is slower. I live in a small house on the edge of a lake. Every morning, I open the curtains and let the morning light spill across the floor. That moment, simple, gentle, almost fragile, feels more honest than any achievement I chased in my 20s. I used to think meaning came from action. Now I think it grows from reflection, from understanding why we move, not just where. I still work. I'm a consultant for creative teams. People assume my work is logical and structured, but it's far more human than technical. Real change in an organization doesn't happen when processes become faster. It happens when people begin to see themselves more clearly, when confidence replaces fear, when communication replaces assumption. Outside of work, I write, not for readers, but for clarity. Writing is a mirror that doesn't lie. It shows me what I'm avoiding, what I'm holding, and what I need to release. Some days I write about the past, not to return there, but to understand it. Some days I write about the future, not to predict, but to make peace with uncertainty. And some days the words don't form sentences. They form something softer, a feeling without shape. Lately, I've been thinking about time. Not the kind that we measure with clocks, but the kind we feel. The way some moments stretch endlessly, while others disappear before we realize they arrived. I've learned that the quality of time depends less on what we do, and more on how awake we are while we do it. A single moment of genuine presence can feel richer than an entire day spent rushing. For years, I believed growth meant addition, more goals, more achievements, more movement, more proof. But now I see growth as a kind of subtraction, removing what blocks your view, letting go of noise, clearing space for what matters. We live in a world obsessed with more, but wisdom often lives in less. Less comparison, less noise, less urgency, more attention, more honesty, more breath. Freedom, I've come to understand, isn't doing whatever you want. It's realizing you don't need everything you once chased. It's the quiet strength of saying, This is enough. It's appreciating the moment you're actually living in. In the evenings, I take slow walks around the lake. The water moves gently, reflecting shapes without trying to become them. I think that's what peace looks like. Not stillness, but soft movement without resistance. I'm not perfect at living slowly. Sometimes old habits return. Sometimes I want to run again. But then I remind myself, stability isn't something you find once. It's something you choose again and again. If you understood this story naturally and clearly, congratulations. Your English is C2 level, deep, intuitive, expressive. You have now completed the full test from A1 to C2. Here's what each level means. A1, you understand short, simple phrases. A2, you follow connected sentences about daily life. B1, you understand longer stories and clear ideas. B2, you follow natural, emotional storytelling. C1, you understand complex thoughts and deep reflections. C2, you understand abstract ideas, metaphorical language, and emotional expression. Where did you feel comfortable? Where did you start struggling? That is your English level. And remember, language is not a race. It's a journey. Your goal isn't perfection, it's progress. You've done an amazing job, truly. This is English Daily Lessons, and I'm Charlie. Thank you for listening, learning, and growing with me today. Before you go, choose another lesson from the screen. Pick another video that appears here and continue improving your English step by step. You're doing great. Keep going.